In Trump's interview with Time magazine this week, he was asked about his healthcare bill, and I'm going to read you his comments, and you tell me how much he knows about the issue and about his own bill, because this appears to me to be damning evidence that he knows dick about it. So here's what he said. See, there was a second attempt. There was only one attempt. There was a mistake. Was we set a date. Now, we not set that date, but we would have had one time. What we did was we started off and it changed until 3 or 4 days ago when it got passed, but we set a date. And when we didn't vote, everyone said, Trump fails with healthcare. The thing that surprised me is, I said, I'm not stopping. And everybody, not one person, said that was going to pass, which was sort of surprising to me. Nobody thought it was going to pass. Everyone said, and I'd go to Vice President Mike Pence, I said, remember I said they're talking like we don't have a chance of passing. I'll tell you, it was a great thing. It was a great process because those 200 plus people in Congress, I got to know almost every one of them. And I developed a bond with many of them that you can only develop under fire. And it was a great thing. And again, somebody wrote an article where they said this is one of the greatest learning experiences because Donald Trump has got to know every. I was with them for 18 hours a day, calling. He's asked about his healthcare bill, and that's his answer. That was incoherent babble. What he's saying is, oh, yeah, my healthcare bill. So I had to call a lot of people, a lot of Republican congressmen, and I did, and then it passed. There, I just summed it up in like one sentence, what he just babbled on about extensively. And again, he's asked about his healthcare bill. He wasn't necessarily asked about, tell me about the process that went on behind the scenes. He's asked about his bill. Okay, I'm not kidding when I say I don't think Donald Trump could name a single provision in his own healthcare bill. I'm not kidding. That's not hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating. I genuinely believe that. And there's other, instances of this as well, or there's other reports of this as well from the first iteration of the bill, where reporters were like, whenever we talked to him about the bill, or whenever there were meetings with other Republicans and they would discuss the bill, Trump would always start talking about stuff like this. Like the process, like, yeah, I spoke to the Freedom Caucus, and some of the people in the Freedom Caucus are with us. Some of them are not. Sad. Let me tell you, we're going to do a tremendous bill. It's going to be incredible, believe me. Let me just tell you. And whenever anybody in the room would try to be like, okay, but seriously, Mr. President, let's go to Section A, subsection whatever of the bill. He's like, tremendous. He doesn't know what's in his own bill. He's got no fucking clue. Man, I think Trump is even dumber than I thought he was. He's like a walking id. He's incapable of like soaking up information that he knows nothing about his fucking bill. Remember, he said repeatedly on the campaign trail, I'm not going to cut Medicare, not going to cut Social Security, not going to cut Medicaid. He even was tweeting about it because Mike Huckabee started making the same argument. He's like, I made that argument first, sad. And then what's in his healthcare bill? Oh, nothing, just an $880 billion cut to Medicaid. But again, my point is, I don't think he knows that. I don't think he knows anything about what's in his bill. I think he's utterly clueless about it. I think, if you told him, hey, there's a $600 billion tax cut, and most of it goes to the top 1%, he'd be like, fake news. Fake news. No, it's not. That's from the CBO breakdown, and we know for sure that that's in the bill. Hey, under your bill, according to the nonpartisan CBO, the uninsured rate goes from 10% to 19% to a total of 53 million uninsured people. This is fake news. He doesn't know anything about what's in his bill. He's asked about his bill and he rambles on incoherently about the process. I made some phone calls. There was a second attempt. There was only one attempt, but there was a mistake. We set a date. Now, we had not set that date, but one time what we did was we started off and until 3 or 4 days ago, when it got passed, we set a date. And you're not saying anything! Oh my God, he's so stupid! He's the fucking president of the United States. Oh, that hurts, man. He doesn't know anything that's in his own bill. And this bill across the board is a disaster. Remember, here's how insanely out of touch and disconnected the Republicans in Washington are. They revived the dead bill. And you know what they were debating over and what changes they were trying to make in order to get it passed? They said, no, we need to get rid of all of Obamacare. So the essential benefits portion of Obamacare, which Trump and his posse wanted to keep in there, the Freedom Caucus, the Tea Partiers were like, no, we must get rid of that too. What's in the essential benefits portion? Protection for people with pre-existing conditions. So the whole crux of the disagreement to get the bill passed was, hey, we're too kind to people with pre-existing conditions. Let's get rid of that. And then they came up with a compromise, guys. Okay, we're not going to take away all protection for pre-existing conditions. We're going to allow states to opt out of it. So like half the states will immediately opt out of it, the red states. Done. No more protections for pre-existing conditions there. And then also let's allow the companies to jack up the prices for people that have pre-existing conditions. So as you make it so that you bankrupt them if they want to get coverage and they had lost their coverage. That was the debate they were having. And Trump's fucking clueless. Sitting up there, oh, I made some calls. Tremendous people. Great people. Incredible people. I make the best calls. You can't help but make the point that it feels like the late stages of an empire. With how broken and corrupt and rotten the system is. And we're being led by a man-child.